What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. Let's get started with a little update. It's all going to be conspiracy related as far as the updates, so hopefully you can skip past, I don't care. But it is conspiracy related, so hopefully it keeps your interest. So I've been promoting that series that I'm going to start soon on Leave the World Behind, the audiobook with commentary that I'm going to do. So I've bought 3 copies of that book. I did an episode about explaining how I bought my buddy a copy and he was being all weird about it. I bought myself a copy. And then I bought my oldest brother a copy for his birthday. Because he's like a conspiracy theorist, and I'm not sure we've ever really talked about Cyber Polygon. We may have, but we talk about so much conspiracy shit, it's hard to keep up. Excuse me, I just finished eating. So I got my copy for $6.99 full price, which even then the book is like $25 book, and I got it for $6.99 at Kroger in a bargain bin. And then it went down to $4.50, so I got my buddy's copy. And then yesterday they pulled the bargain bin out, and they put all the books in this crate and put it in the back, meaning they took it off shelves. And there's a lady back there, her name's Kat, she works back there, and she pulls stuff off shelves and either sends it back to wherever or donates it. And so I seen this crate of books, and the day that I wanted to buy my last copy for my brother's birthday, because his birthday is July, I went in and they had just pulled all the books out, so I was bummed out. I seen it in the back, so I talked to Kat. I was like, hey man, I said, this book, I bought 2 copies already. I said, I want to buy a third. She's like, well, what book is it? And I showed her, and I was like, is there any way that I could buy this? And she said, I don't know. She said, I'm supposed to send it back to the company, and I'm not sure if I could sell it to you. I'll see what I could do. And then she's like, she pulled it aside. She did some sort of magic on her end. She scanned it and all that jazz. And then I came back around later on that night. She's like, I can sell it to you for $1.30 something. I'm like, fuck yeah. I was going to pay full price again, and just give it to my brother as a gift. But I got it for like $1.30, so turned out in my favor. And that dude's probably Illuminati, the author, so I just bought 3 copies of his book. So I made the bad guy more money. But I think it's a very important book to cover, a very important movie to cover. I think it's predictive programming, revelation of the method, manufacturing consent, whatever you want to call it. So that's a little update on that. And that series, I will be starting that series hopefully soon, maybe tomorrow. As far as the other part of the update, so last episode I covered the presidential debate and why I didn't watch it and what was the whole situation with that. But it went exactly how I thought it was going to go. So I really didn't even need to cover it. I actually saved some time and energy and frustration, because I'm sure I would have just been frustrated the whole time. But I have been watching clips of it. I still haven't watched or listened to the entire thing, because I don't know if I really want to put myself through that suffering. I may tonight, who knows. I know RFK Jr. is on Dr. Phil's podcast, so I might listen to that. It's called Fill in the Blanks. I got 2 good podcasts lined up that I want to listen to tonight. But as far as the debate, this is crazy and wild. The media is like turning on Joe Biden. Now, don't get excited and don't fall for it. As far as like, oh, is the media like good now? You know, and I'm saying this to like people who just got red pilled, people who are purple pilled, people who are just now waking up. If you are, thanks for waking up. It's a little late in the game, but you know, better late than never. That doesn't mean go and trust the media, but and if you are just waking up, look into Operation Mockingbird. There's a little nugget. Go look into that. Maybe we'll do an episode one day covering it, a deep dive. Yeah, all of media, and I'm talking like CNN, which is like the worst of the worst. The Young Turks, fucking Chunk Yogurt. He was going on this huge rant about how horribly Biden did, how the Democratic Party is fucked. I love it. Apparently Biden's on the cover of Time magazine, and it literally on the cover it's showing him walk off to the right, like walking off stage, you know. So I think it's great, and it definitely makes me curious what's going to happen, because I made my predictions in the past, and this is why I'm not a gambling man, because I'm not gonna lie, for one, I didn't think that Biden would have won the presidency, which that's a whole nother discussion, because I'm of the belief that it was stolen. I really didn't think that he was going to win, and if he did win, my prediction was that he was going to stay president for maybe like 4 or 5 months, and then they were going to be like, oh, he's too senile to do anything, and they were going to put Kamala in. Totally wrong. I was totally wrong. I did not think he was going to last his entire fucking term, which is insane. So I don't know what's going on. I try not to make political predictions because I really don't know what's going on. That threw me for a fucking loop. But there is talk that they're going to put Gavin Newsom in, which I keep hearing 2 things. I keep hearing it's too late to do, too late in the race, it's like impossible, but then I hear other people saying that it's not impossible, that they still can put someone in. I would think it would be either Gavin Newsom, Kamala will step up, or I hear a lot of talk that they're going to try to put Michelle Obama in. And remember the contrarian friend that I have that I talked about last episode? I love him to death. But he says, oh, Michelle, they're never going to put Michelle Obama in because she doesn't want to run. And he's slightly into conspiracy. I would call him purple-pilled. But I tried explaining to him, it doesn't matter what she wants. There are people above the Obamas pulling strings and commanding them and telling them what to do, which is terrifying, because I would be terrified just to even shake Obama's hand. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like shaking in my boots, like, you know, it'd be like meeting the devil, dude. But I'm like, there's people above them, dude. Like, it doesn't matter if Michelle Obama wants to run or not. She doesn't have a choice. And he's like, oh, I don't know about all that. she's not going to run. And I'm like saying, okay, I'm not saying she is going to run, but I'm saying if she did run, I think the Democratic Party, I think she would actually have a high chance of winning if they did run her, because it would be the first woman, quote unquote, president, first black woman president. Like, that's two birds, one stone. And you guys remember how much the left and the right worshipped Obama. Everyone worshipped Obama. I mean, he was Black Jesus, dude. So I think she actually would probably win if she ran. Not trying to give the enemy some ideas, but I don't know. That's it for an update. Let's get into the episode. It's gonna be drama. There's gonna be shots fired. It's all conspiracy related, but it's gonna be me bashing on some retarded conspiracy that I just came across. Shots fired on a grifter, in my opinion, and definitely shots fired on Q Anon. So let's get into it. So my buddy is a Q-tard. I love him to death, but I pissed him off yesterday, like immediately. For one, this didn't really piss him off, but he bet $1. Actually, let's talk about the presidential debate a little more. He's a Q-tard, and we both get along on a lot of shit. Like, for one, we're both conspiracy theorists. He's just a retarded one, in my opinion, when it comes to QAnon, because he's obsessed with QAnon. And I've explained to him a billion times it's a fucking psyop. And he's actually admitted that it is a psyop, but he's like, it's a good psyop. I'm like, bro, there's no such thing as a good psyop. If you're being lied to, don't listen to it at all. And he's like, yeah, but some of the stuff they say is true. And it's like, yeah, because they stole shit from WikiLeaks. They stole shit from Pizzagate. They stole shit from the Castle Rock conspiracy. They steal from other conspiracies and claim it as their own, as if they created it. I'm like, so yeah, everything they do say that is true is like stolen from actual real conspiracies, man. Like, QAnon did not start these other conspiracies. It just took from them and used it with the psyop. And I said that's why it's a perfect psyop, because it has some truth in it. But I've already made episodes on why I believe QAnon is a psyop. I made an episode, I'm pretty sure it's literally called QAnon is a psyop, and it goes into long detail about Operation Trust. Go check that episode out. Not gonna rehash. But so he came up to me, he's like, hey man, you want to make a bet? And I'm like I said, I try not to gamble unless I know for sure I'm gonna win, or unless it's like something like horses. I'll bet like $5 on a horse, because it doesn't hurt if I lose $5. And I've actually won $300. I've won twice on horses, and I put in $5 each and won like $300 altogether. 150 one time, 150 another. Pretty dope. So actually, they did a rubber duck race here in Lexington today, and I put $5 on a rubber duck. It's just thousands of rubber ducks, and they dump them into a river. And don't worry, there's a net at the end, so they're not just polluting. And all the ducks race down the river, and if your duck wins, you get $5,000. The local Kiwani Lodge was doing it. I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't know a whole lot about Kiwanis, except that Hunter S. Thompson was a Kiwani, and he used to talk about it all the time and bring it up all the time. But maybe that'll be a good episode. I want to do an episode on the Moose Lodge and the Kiwanis and the Knights of Columbus, see if there's any weird secret society or any weird shady shit going on with that. I think it'd be fun. Might be a boring episode though if I can't find anything good about it. If I can't find any darkness around it. But he's like, I bet that the presidential debate's not even gonna happen tomorrow. Because he listens to Q Anon podcast. All these grifters, like shady people that I've never heard of, never seen. Now that doesn't mean that I'm saying if I've never heard of you or I've never seen you, that you're just automatically a piece of shit. But I've been a conspiracy theorist since like 2012, 2010, somewhere around there. So I kind of know most of the names in the conspiracy game, like the big ones and even some of the smaller ones. I kind of know everybody. That's all I listen to all day is conspiracy podcasts. And with QAnon, dude, there's all these like random people that showed up out of nowhere that I've like never even fucking heard of. And they're saying the most weirdest, outlandish, crazy shit. I'm like, who the fuck are these people? They gotta be like fucking agents or something, like agent provocateurs or something. So he heard through the grapevine of the QAnon community that there's not going to be a presidential debate tomorrow. Because you know how they always love to make predictions and none of them ever come true. It's fucking hilarious. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'll bet on that. It was only $1, so I won $1. But talking about the same dude, the other day he sent me a link to an Amazon book called, I forget the title of the book, Stolen Identity. And it's written literally, I kid you not, by JFK Jr. And it's got a picture of some redneck on the front cover with like a cowboy hat. And I'm like, seriously, bro? And he's like, yeah, I'm buying a copy for my mom. And first of all, go back and listen to that episode of me talking about buying this guy Leave the World Behind and how weird he acted when I bought him that book. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting into reading now. And I'm like, that's awesome. I was all excited, like, yay, he's getting into reading. He's gonna become smarter. He's going to self-educate, autodidactic. He's going to get into some good conspiracy shit. Everything he's been buying and reading has been like retarded QAnon shit. He bought this book for his like 80 or 90-year-old mom and is like telling her to read it. Like, read this book, Mom. JFK Jr. is alive. And this guy is JFK Jr. And he explained another book was he bought a praying medic book. He's reading that shit. Look into praying medic. He's a fucking grifter piece of shit. He literally makes prediction after prediction after prediction and nothing ever comes true. And this is one thing I love about QAnon people. They make predictions. They won't come true on the day that they say all this shit's gonna happen. And then they will literally make an episode the next day and never even acknowledge it. It's fucking hilarious. I'm going to start doing that on my channel. I'm just kidding. I'm not actually going to do that. But imagine if I did. If I made predictions and not even like, hey, I think this is going to happen. Because I've made predictions before when I say, hey, I think this is going to happen. It's my prediction. It may happen. It may not. I don't know for sure. It's just, this is what I think is going to happen. I've done that quite a few times on my channel, but I never say for sure this will happen. The QAnon people, they still haven't figured it out. Don't ever say this will happen, because it doesn't happen and then you ruin all credibility. It's just my personal opinion. That's why I got out of that movement, because I got tired of predictions not coming true. But yeah, Praying Medic does that all the time. He'll make a prediction, it never happens, and then the next day he just ignores it and acts like he never said that, never brings it up, never says sorry guys, nothing. So he's reading one of his books, and then he's reading another book called Wano Savin, Kid by the Side of the Road, which he actually wanted me to borrow it, and I actually wanted to do a whole series on it, like a read through with commentary, and just honestly just shit on it the entire time. I think that would be fun. Hate read it. But yeah, that was another dude years ago that he said Wano Savin was JFK Jr. And once again, why is it always rednecks too? Like, it was a redneck with a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and he like films his boots. He never shows his face because he's got secret intel, and thankfully he's some old piece of shit redneck, so he doesn't know how to use a phone, and accidentally reversed the camera so it showed his face. Once again, does not look like JFK. He's a short, little, stubby, fat piece of shit. His eyes are too close together. Same with this guy. The guy won't even put out his actual real name. He literally calls himself JFK Jr. So right there, you're a coward. The guy who wrote the Stolen Identity book. Same with Wano Savin. All these people hide behind aliases and shit. Like, just makes me think that they're agent provocateurs or fucking getting paid by the government to put out this info. Because it's like, that's one thing I've always started every podcast episode. Hey, this is Abe Williams, your host. You can literally look me up online. You can find my mug shots and everything else. It's actually Abe Williams. I don't lie. I don't hide behind an alias. But yeah, this guy that wrote this Stolen Identity book, he looks nothing like Jackie Onassis. And don't get me wrong, I love the Kennedy family. I think that's why this pisses me off so much, because I love the Kennedy family. There's a lot of darkness in there. I'm not saying they're perfect, so before you start going into the comments about how they're Illuminati bloodline and they're all pieces of shit and all this, I already know a lot of their dark history. They're not fucking perfect. I'm not gonna debate the Kennedy family with you. Pretty sure they killed Marilyn Monroe. Just saying. But this Jackie Onassis, her eyes, she's beautiful, by the way. I think she's pretty. I would have banged her back in the day. I don't understand why JFK cheated on her. I think the only reason why is she did seem super proper, and JFK was a wild horn dog. So he probably was like, hey, Jackie, why don't you give me a rim job? And she's like, I don't want to eat your ass. That's disgusting. That's improper. You know. But she is pretty. But there is one thing that's kind of like, ugh, is her eyes are super far apart. Go look at a picture of Jackie Onassis. She's got super wide eyes. And JFK Jr. had wide eyes. This guy is saying that he was switched at birth and he grew up in some like Illuminati bloodline shit. Give me just a second. We'll get back into this. And I'm sure I'm butchering the actual storyline because I really don't care. Part of the reason I pissed him off yesterday was he had already mentioned this book, and he doesn't really listen very well. For one, he likes to talk over me, my friend, and I just keep stopping, and I keep repeating myself trying to get my point out, but he keeps cutting me off. He does that a lot. And I have to tell him, like, stop for a second, just let me get one sentence out. But, I pissed him off yesterday because, well, let me go. He first brought up, he sent me the message. I told you about that. That was like last week. And I told him, I was like, I don't think it's Jackie Onassis's kid. It looks nothing like Jackie Onassis. They all got the Jackie Onassis eyes. JFK Jr. had the Jackie Onassis eyes. Something about that genetic. It's like, I don't know, strong within the Onassis bloodline. And he tried explaining it to me, and I was like, normally I don't do this. Normally I'll look into something, but I've been trusting my intuition more and more the older I've gotten, and immediately I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking grifter. And yesterday he sent me some podcast, and I'm not bashing. I've always said if I was rich, I would probably walk around dressed like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd look like Russell Brand, you know, jewels and shit all over me, rings, and I'd look like a gypsy if I had the money to afford the fashion that I wanted. But this lady, he sent me a podcast of this black lady, and she literally had a chain on her head with like the bead hanging here. She looked super fucking woo-woo. And like I said, I get into the woo-woo and shit. But, you ever just go to you ever like around like someone who's super fucking woo-woo, where they got like crystals all over their house, and they like never shut up about the woo-woo, and like they'll walk up to you and be like, oh, I can see your aura and feel your energy. And I mean, it's cool. I dig it sometimes, but I have to kind of be in the mood for it. And I'm actually, like I said, I'm extremely into the whole woo-woo thing. I just don't go around acting retarded. And no offense, a lot of these people act retarded. You know, I got family members who are like super woo-woo, and they're like, I could see a ghost behind you right now, and stupid shit like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, my house is not fucking haunted. Sorry, buddy. Some black lady that looked super fucking woo-woo, and I'm like, and it was interviewing that stupid guy who sadly I have to call JFK Jr. because he doesn't tell his real fucking name. And she's like, interview with JFK Jr. The elites are gonna freak out. The elites are mad that he's coming out with the info. And he's like, bro, listen to this podcast. And I didn't text back because I'm trying to be non-confrontational with him, and I already knew he would get mad. And he came up to me later that night. He's like, yeah, did you get that message I sent you? I said, yep. He said, did you listen to it? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, I didn't listen to it either. So first of all, he didn't even fucking listen to it either. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? He does that to me all the time. He'll send me shit and not even listen to it. I'll send him shit, but at least I listened to it or watched it. You know. And I even send him, I'm even nice enough, even though I'm anti-Q Anon, I will even send him Q Anon shit, because I listen to Eddie Bravo, who's still a Q-tard, and I listen to Roseanne Barr, who's still a Q-tard. I'll even send him Q Anon shit sometimes, and just to be nice, even though I fucking despise Q Anon and I think it's poisoning the truth community. But yeah, he didn't even listen to it, and he sent me this shit. And I'm like, no, I didn't listen to it. I already told you how I feel about that guy. I said, I think he's a grifter. Well, you didn't give it a chance. I said, what is the point in giving it a chance? It is literally, there's certain rabbit holes that, like, I try to go down because I only have so many hours in the day. During the day, I listen to podcasts, conspiracy podcasts, by, in my opinion, trustworthy sources that I've listened to for years. I am very careful what I listen to, because to me, there's nothing wrong with chasing a rabbit down a rabbit hole, but there are certain rabbit holes that reach dead ends. And you have to, before you even go down a rabbit hole, you have to go, is this actually important? Is this going to affect my life in any way? Is this going to make me smarter? Is this going to make me be able to dodge the elite's plans? And I tried to explain this to him. I said, some rabbits I don't chase down holes because there's no point. I said, even if he is JFK Jr., what would be the point in me? What's JFK Jr. going to do? Like, because that gets into the whole conspiracy. There's a whole conspiracy that JFK Jr. survived the plane wreck and that he's still alive. I said, Ryan, if he is still alive, he's going to be in witness protection, meaning he will never see the light of day as far as the public eye. And even if he does, what's going to happen? He runs for president? Okay, cool. I'll vote for him, but I mean, if his politics are good. But I don't care if he's still alive. I know it sounds dark and I know it sounds evil, but I really don't care. Like, if they came out on mainstream news tomorrow, Fox News, let's say Fox News came out and said, we got a big story coming up at 6 o'clock. And they pulled back the curtains and JFK Jr. walked out and was like, I'm still alive. You know what I would do? I would go, huh, that's cool. All right, got to get ready for work. And I'm going to go to work. It's the same way I believe with flat earth. Would it be cool? I guess. I mean, I really don't care whether the earth is flat or round. It really doesn't matter to me because the elites are still controlling it. Whether it's flat or round, they're still controlling it. So it really doesn't. Actually, I would be slightly more excited about flat earth because then I would be like, cool, so NASA's going to pay back all our tax money, right? Right? Now we can go after NASA, which is why we'll never hear that the earth is flat if it is. But I told him I wouldn't care if JFK Jr. is alive. I've watched some of his speeches. I think he's pretty cool. Not as cool as his dad, or not as cool as his uncle, his great uncle, or cousin, RFK Jr. I like him. I really don't know too much about the original RFK. Just that him and JFK tried to take down the Italian mob. Which, after learning that the Italian mafia actually has their fingers dipped in like child trafficking and child porn and shit, I was kind of like, oh, I don't really like the mafia that much anymore. Just saying. But yeah, like it doesn't change my reality. It doesn't change anything. I still have to go to work. And they rigged the election with Trump. If JFK Jr. did run for president, what makes you think they're not going to rig the election again? They got away with it the first time. They're going to do it again. That's why, honestly, I'm voting for RFK Jr., if voting even matters at this point. But if they rigged it once and got away with it, what makes you think they're not just going to do that shit again? I hate to be black-pilled, but I'm being a realist. But yeah, and I told him, I was like, first of all, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like rednecks. I don't like Juan Savin because he's a redneck. I don't like this guy who wrote Stolen Identity because he's a fucking redneck. And you can say, oh, Abe, that's mean, you know, you're judging a book by its cover. And I'm like, yeah, I will. I don't care. Rednecks, in my opinion, are pieces of shit. They're usually homophobic. They're usually racist. I live in Kentucky, dude. I see rednecks all the time. Can't stand them. They pollute the air with their fucking big trucks. They walk around tracking cow shit everywhere. They spit dip on the fucking floor. They're rude-mannered. They're usually ignorant on their fucking philosophy in life. I don't like rednecks. I don't care. As soon as I seen the guy, I was like, oh, he's a redneck piece of shit. Yeah. And people can say, oh, where does this stem from? They used to pick on me in high school. Used to call me faggot and shit. Yeah. Don't like them. Still don't like rednecks. But anyways, now that I got that out of my system, I actually feel good. Kind of therapeutic. I told him, I said, this dude is a fucking grifter. And he said, oh, he's not a grifter, he's poor. And I said, well, I'm poor too. And he said, he makes $4 a book. He only makes $4 a book. And I was like, okay, that's money. I've worked, and I hate to bring this up, but I don't care, dude. I've made this fucking conspiracy channel for 7 years. I've been making content in the conspiracy realm. I have made $30 from Anchor before they got bought out by Spotify. Do you know how many hundreds of dollars I've put into this channel? So, to write a book and get paid $4 per copy of that book, and you're blatantly lying about that you're JFK Jr., I call that grifting. Because at least with you guys, I don't fucking lie. If I don't want to talk about certain things, because there's been certain things in my personal life, just like anyone else, I have skeletons in my closet. And someone can clip that and go, oh, he said he admitted he's got skeletons in his closet. Yeah, nothing too dark. I've never fucked with kids. I've never done anything dark like the Illuminati has done. I've actually been honest as far as my sins. You know, I told people I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm a recovering drug user. I was struggling with porn addiction. I actually want to do a whole episode on porn addiction because I think it'd be good to talk about it and tell people, you know, the dangers of pornography and shit. A self-help episode. I've already told you guys, like, most of my demons. There's some demons that I have that you'll never know, but it's nothing too bad to the point where you'll be like, that guy's completely evil. You know? I'll tell you this, that hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. And the cycle of abuse, and I'm talking more physical and emotional and mental, not sexual. The cycle of abuse continues, but it does get better each generation. So that's all I'll say on as far as my skeletons, but I don't even know how I got on the whole skeletons in closets. Talking about this guy pissed me off and then made me sidetrack and lose my train of thought. Oh, lying on purpose. I've always been honest. To the best of my abilities, I've been honest as much as I can. Now, if there's certain subjects, if someone comments something trying to pick at my skeletons too deep, first of all, I'm just going to delete your comment. Or I'm just going to say, I don't want to talk about it. And I've already said that in past videos of there are dark spots in my life that I've started talking about and got a little too close to that skeleton in my closet. And I go, I got to pull back. Sorry, I just don't want to talk about that. I've hinted at stuff, but I'm like, no, I'm not ready to go into that. Maybe someday on my deathbed. Honestly, if I ever get diagnosed with cancer, I might just go balls to the wall and be like, all the skeletons out of the closet. Just put the key in the closet, open it up and go, ha 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 ha. Here we go. Now I'm full-blown pirate. You know, the real me, the 100% real me, you know. Which you guys do know the real me, just not 100%. But yeah, this guy is blatantly lying. You know, he's just fucking lying and making money off of it. And I don't mind if people make money off of their channel. I don't mind if they write a book. If you want to make money off a conspiracy, go for it. I'm actually one of the few conspiracy theorists, besides like Sam Tripoli, who say I don't judge anyone for trying to make a dollar. If you want to make a dollar off of your dream job, which is the whole point of the American dream, is to make money off of doing something you love. At least that's my interpretation of the American dream. That's what the American dream is to me, is doing something that doesn't feel like work, doing something that you love, doing something that is honest at the end of the day. But this guy's blatantly lying and making money off of it. I have more respect for sex workers because at least they're doing something, hopefully, that they love, unless they're trafficked or some darker shit. I'm talking about voluntary sex workers. I have more respect for them because they're doing something they love to do and they're making other people happy. And it's honestly consensual and everyone gets something out of it. But this guy is just lying and making money off of it. Now, the difference between me and this grifter is, for one, I'm not even making money off this channel anymore. I lost my sponsor. Bless you. I'll probably not get a sponsor forever or monetization. We'll see. I'm going to try to. But I'm not lying to you. And if I get things wrong, I'm sorry. I always try to admit it. I told you guys I apologize for going down the Q retard rabbit hole. I got fooled, and I've admitted that. Certain conspiracies that I've said I think is going to happen didn't happen. I apologize for it. I thought everyone who would have got jabbed up by now would be zombies. I apologize for that. It never happened. We never got our zombie apocalypse. But I keep those episodes up so you can see the failures of my past and see that I am trying to get the most information. I just see things, I make theories, and sometimes they come true, sometimes they don't. This guy is blatantly lying, and he knows he's lying. And to me, I see that as an act of evil. Now, I did want to get into... Oh, and those other QAnon people, they're all doing the same fucking shit. Unless they're retarded like me and just falling for it, and they'll learn their lesson. I had to get into this conspiracy, though. This is fucking hilarious. So he said Trump has been dead since 1986. And this was one thing that Ryan, my Q-tard buddy, was saying to me. He's like, yeah, he said Trump's been dead since 1986. And I'm like, I just looked at him. I went, really? I said, then how did he do a debate yesterday? Well, how do you know that's Trump? I said, because it looks exactly like Trump. And I already know about CIA mask, and I truly believe Biden is wearing a mask because Biden looks like he's wearing a mask. He doesn't even look like the old Biden. Trump looks like Trump. I said, bro, I grew up on fucking Home Alone. I know what Trump looks like. I grew up on fucking Zoolander. I know what Trump looks like. Trump has always looked like Trump. But I love it in a way. I love it, though, because this is destroying QAnon even more. Because they used to be... They took the whole Castle Rock conspiracy, they stole it, and are like, oh, Biden's not the real Biden. And I'm like, okay, I agree with that. It's not the same Biden. I truly don't think so. I've said that on my channel for years. I did a whole podcast episode on the Castle Rock theory, which has nothing to do with QAnon. QAnon just took it and ran with it. I don't think that's the same dude. I think it's a mask. But I've never looked at Trump and thought that's not Trump. Trump has always looked like Trump. That's just me. That's my opinion. If you don't think it's the same Trump, then whatever. I do think that there's probably body doubles that are used every now and then because, for one, the president can't be everywhere all at once. And two, they've been using body doubles since Abe Lincoln, since Civil War. So it doesn't surprise me if sometimes they're using a body double because, one, the government or the president can't be everywhere all at once, and two, for safety reasons, if it's a real shady fucking place where they think some shit might go down, they're going to put the double in, not the actual president. But I don't understand why that's even a conspiracy, because it's not. It's not even a conspiracy that they use body doubles. They admit it. It's fact. They use body doubles. So why wouldn't they do that with Trump? But he said, well, how do you believe it? How do you believe your own eyes? And it's like, discernment. I believe my heart of hearts. I believe my downloads, and I believe feelings that I get from intuition, because I used to be a fortune teller, and I still do tarot once in a blue moon. And I'm not trying to like brag or say that I'm like some sort of X-Men, but my intuition is very fucking good. And even Ryan, the one that I argue with, he even says, damn, dude, you hit the nail on the head like a lot. And I just get feelings. I feel like it's the same Trump. Trust me, don't trust me, I really don't care. I get downloads from source, I get feelings from source. God talks to me, not audibly, the creator of all, Hugh, but I feel that I'm in touch enough spiritually with my creator that he tells me what's going on, and I have intuition. And if I'm struggling with that, I pray for like discernment. Use your own discernment. And I told him, I said, I can trust my eyes. Because that's what the CIA wants, is for you to not trust your own eyes. I said, I have eyes to see. You know, I know that jet fuel can't melt steel beams. I know that we didn't land on the moon. I know that the election was stolen. I know these things because of what my eyes see. But the CIA wants to make it to where you don't trust what your eyes see and what your heart tells you. They want you to believe opposite of your intuition, opposite of your discernment. And I said, honestly, dude, if it's not the real Trump, once again, why do you have to follow every rabbit down every hole if you know that it's just going to be a dead end and it's not going to serve your life any purpose whatsoever, knowing that what purpose does it serve? Is it going to better your life, or is it going to worsen your life? Or is it going to matter at all? I'm actually going to wrap it up there, though. That's 50 minutes, and I actually talked about almost everything I wanted to about this guy. His name's JFK Jr. Stolen Identity. Some stupid-ass fucking book. Go waste your money on it if you want, but you're paying $4 to a fucking redneck grifter piece of shit. So shots fired. But I do have to say this. I do, because I'm such a troll, and Andy Kaufman is one of my heroes, and Alex Stein, 99 on the grind all the time, Pimp on a Blimp, is one of my heroes. I'm Al Gore's son. I just want you all to know that I am Al Gore's son. It's an inside joke. This is just between me and you. Shh. It's an inside joke. If I can get interviews on the Q Anon circuit, I'm going to start telling them, if I can fool them into interviews, I'm going to start going on as Al Gore's son who was switched at birth. So if you all can refer to me from now on as Al Gore's son, that would be awesome. It'll be our little inside joke. Don't let anyone in on it. You guys all heard it here first. I'm Al Gore's son. I was raised in the Illuminati. I'm going to start making the circuits and introducing myself on other people's podcast as Al Gore's son. All right. I love you all. Al Gore Jr. out. You all have a good day.